But you were alone. You were alone. So he's showing me. Okay, hold on. Was your Uncle Stephen like his personality, like he's fun, goofy, but more reserved?
Yeah, he was definitely more reserved.
Okay, because I feel that him standing there, he's standing there, and then right away, I believe this is your dad coming through because he like pushed through, like he just like went, and pushed through, but he's like pushed through, like, you know how I just saw like this vision of like little kids in a line, and he's like, like pushing through. Like, I want to get first. Like, I want to get to the get
That
me
was
to the
the
front of the line. Like he would be like he was irritated, like, get me first. Like, I want to come through first. And I just started giggling because that was it. Just like he jumped in real quick. Um, okay, so this would be your dad. So he is coming. So he jumped forward really strong, and he's coming in really strongly, but he's bringing forth the feeling of he's not upset, but he's upset. He's just bringing that feeling forward right now. And then also, so, okay, so he was just trying to distinguish the two because he's like, no, he's more soft. Okay, thank you. Um, okay, so yes, he was making me feel that on the way. So you do understand, I do remember, I think you said before, because I remember he had your dad passed away December 4th, just this past December 4th on my birthday. Oh my gosh. And so he's bringing me back to that. I'm sorry, I'm like circling around. I'm just telling him, show me what he's showing me. So he's bringing me back to the house whenever he passed. So he did pass sudden. He did make me feel what happened. So yeah, he made me feel what happened. It was sudden, and you do understand that he did. He was like, I was ready to go. Bobby. Is that what he was called, or he went by Bobby?
I did when I was little.
Oh, you did, Bobby. Because I just heard Bobby, Bobby, Bobby.
That's what I went by when I was little.
Okay, give me a second. And I keep drinking this water. Like I feel like I am just not hydrated, and I keep getting so dry. Like my mouth is just so dry. Oh my gosh. His energy is really strong. Like it's really intense.
That makes sense.
Like he's okay, but he's just, just like merging with me. Just I'm just feeling him more strongly. Hold on, let me ask him. Dehydrated. He was dehydrated. So he wasn't yeah, he wasn't properly taking care of himself.
No.
But he's all, man, he's all, well, that's what I heard, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. And he said, yeah, you knew that he was ready to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he knew. You knew. He knew. But he comes in, so did he have like a dark sense of humor? Like sarcastic, could have
Yes.
every once in a while like a dark sense of humor because I don't mean to say it like this, but this is what he was showing me. Let me drink some of this. So he brings me back where he was sitting. Was he sitting like in uh like a not like a chair like mine, but like a would it be like a sofa chair with a TV stand tray?
No, he was sitting. He was probably sitting at the kitchen table
Okay, because
when he
I
passed away. When
saw
that happened.
I just saw him like sit down like in a chair, but there's like a TV, what do you call those? Like the little TV
Yeah.
trays like you would set out. And then I just feel him just sitting back in a chair, just kind of like rocking like this, but and he's just like looking around, just looking around, but he's giving me that feeling of um oh, hold on real quick. I forgot to. So he was sitting back in the chair and he was just rocking back like this, but he was just giving me that feeling of just looking around and he's just upset. He's just miserable. He didn't, oh, that's why he's showing me that. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I know I'm kind of circling around, but he's taking me back to things that happened to him when he was growing up. I don't know if you knew about anything of him, just the way he grew up. Like he's saying it wasn't the greatest and he was miserable. Like, not that, he's saying there was no emotional availability with him. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
That makes sense because that's how he was.
Okay. Um,
And his dad wasn't emotionally available.
oh, okay. Because okay. I wrote down this name, but let me show you what I wrote down. I wrote down this name, but I also wrote down on the side of this father, not, I don't know if these names mean anything or this name, John or Johnny, could be somewhere down in the family line, but I wrote father and down because I was seeing him. So he was showing me that he was bringing me back to just that feeling that being miserable. He didn't understand. He's making me have, ooh, he just gave me intense chills. He's rocking back and he's just thinking. And he's showing me he spent a lot of time just rocking back, thinking about thinking about life. Like, why is he here? What is the purpose of life? All of this stuff. And he just didn't really quite understand because he showed me him as a little boy experiencing like feeling alone, feeling,
Well, he was an only child,
oh, he was an only child. Oh, oh, wow. Okay.
and his mother died when his mother got breast cancer when he was 13, and he was the one who would take her because his dad was a dentist, so he was always working. And after school, my dad into, I think, New York City for treatment, and then she died when he was 15. Can't hear you.
Oh,
Can't
I
hear you.
said,
I couldn't hear you for a second. Now I can hear you.
oh, I said, oh my gosh, I just got intense chills. I'm so sorry. So, okay, they're really, he's learning how to communicate with me. He's warming up to me. Um, so these three male souls that have come through, the beginning was kind of a little rocky because they're learning how to communicate with me because they didn't believe in this stuff. Would that make sense? Okay.
Well, I know my dad didn't. I don't know about the others.
Okay, because I could see them like they're showing me, but I notice when there's souls that if they didn't believe, or everyone has their own belief, which
Well,
is
let me say the three souls, okay? There were three brothers that lived in St. Louis. My Uncle Stephen, my Uncle Mal, and my Uncle Sam. They were three brothers. And my dad was like the fourth brother. So when you say the three souls coming through, that makes me think that they were the three brothers. And then my dad was like the fourth brother. He didn't live in my dad lived in St. Louis a couple of years, but then lived in Connecticut. But it was always like my dad the, was the fourth brother. Like he was very close with, well, I don't, with at least two of them. But when you say the three male souls coming through, that makes me think that it's Sam, Mal, and my Uncle Sam, my Uncle Mal, my Uncle Stephen, who were three brothers. Um, and their mother was my dad's mother's sister.
wow. Wow. Okay, so we made that connection because I kept saying 333 and he kept saying 333. He
And
woke me
that's
up at 333. I tried to get us take this screenshot on my phone, but I was like, groggy and it went too fast. But I was like, oh, and then I was like, okay, I will let him know because he's like 333 are coming through tomorrow. But he kept telling me that
and I want to go back because when you said reserved and then was goofy and fun. My Uncle Mal was goofy and fun and a trickster and whatever, and my Uncle Stephen was more reserved. So that makes sense. It was two personalities. It wasn't one, it wasn't two, it wasn't the same person. So
yeah,
when you said
yeah.
goofy and fun, that made me think of my Uncle Mal. And my Uncle Mal has come through before. He passed away like, I don't know, 15 years ago, but he's come through for me before.
Really? Wow, that is so cool. Wow, that is, mm,
So that puts it
that
together and
is so
makes sense
cool.
for me.
Yes. Okay, perfect. That's great. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
And the
Okay.
fact that they came through for my dad
Yes,
makes sense.
makes sense. Okay, so yeah, and of course, they're all together, but they're all coming together right now because so this is why they're coming through. They have a message for you. So, I mean, a really deep message for you. This is why they're all coming through. But before I come to that, I want to circle back to just your dad when he was talking about just the not having that emotional
Right.
security there. He showed me that, and then it was just him, just passing that down. Like he was treated like that, and he didn't quite understand. He didn't really quite understand. So he's telling me right now he was very miserable. He's very miserable in life. He was just very miserable, and he didn't want to be miserable, but he didn't understand. He didn't quite understand. So he's showing me right now. So he passed December 4th. What are we? March 18th. So time doesn't exist over there, but he's going through that life review because what he's showing me right now, he's emotional, okay? Because he's seeing everything what happened, everything is starting to unravel and make sense for him.
Right.
So that's why he's taking me back to this. He was like, I didn't know this was like a passed on thing. So going back to the little boy riding the bike and feeling alone, he didn't realize coming back to you, this is coming back to you. He just wants to apologize for that. And he said he didn't understand. He's also telling me that he knew you were different. He knew that you were special, not that special meant that we're better than anybody or above anyone. He is he understood that there was something very unique with you. He said there was a sparkle or there was a light inside of you at such a young age. And he's showing me he knew that you felt from a little, oh God, he showed me like a little boy. I couldn't, maybe 6 years old. I would have to say 6 years old. You correct me if I'm wrong. But starting from there, just feeling really alone, feeling like almost like, what's the word, like persecuted or like you just didn't belong
Yep.
or just not welcome. Um, he's showing me all these feelings and he's just like, oh my God, he didn't
Yeah, I
under
never fit in.
go ahead.
I never fit in. That's what I always felt.
Okay. So he's showing me all of this. Okay, there's a reason why. Okay. But he's just
What's
showing
funny is we were talking about this yesterday.
we were.
Yeah, how we didn't fit in growing up and how we tried so hard to fit in and have friends, and we had this whole conversation yesterday, which is really funny that it's coming up today.
Gosh, I'm starting to choke. So you
You and
had
I talked about it yesterday morning.
I can't remember. Oh my gosh. Well, I also too, because I did 2 heavy meditations for this because
Right.
he came through early this morning and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be heavy. I need to really meditate. But and also so I started having that feeling, that sensation, like I couldn't talk. So your voice, you didn't express yourself. You couldn't express yourself. There wasn't any room for you to do that.
Right.
So he didn't know how to handle that because he didn't have that himself. So
Right.
he just wants to come through, acknowledge that, but there is a reason. But also he's just apologizing. He's acknowledging, taking accountability for that because he's being shown all of this right now from where it actually started. So we all have that in our families, things that get passed down. So that's exactly what happened. But he just, like I said, didn't quite understand. Thank you. He's getting better at communicating with me. I didn't believe in this.
Right.
But
He didn't at
we're gonna
all.
get, yeah, we're gonna get to that really, really quickly. But he's asking for that forgiveness and to forgive yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was anything wrong with you. And he wants to apologize if he made you feel a type of way for all of that heaviness, because he's feeling that. He's experiencing what you had to experience. He's like literally reliving all of that because he has to see everything from the time he was born till his passing in his life as he continues on into heaven. But he's just showing me and just acknowledging, I'm sorry. But also, he said, you're very unique and very different because he said, from the time you were born, you had this awareness and this light within you. He didn't quite understand, but he knew something religious with you. So he thought
That's weird.
I'm seeing like he thought maybe something down line. You might do something, work with some type of religion or work in some type of church or something like that. But going back to that, he didn't understand, spirituality. He didn't understand his soul. He didn't understand who he was. He was just ready, he was ready to go to heaven, of course, that, but there's so much more. So he's being shown,
Right.
life and what life really is and what it means and his soul and all of this deeper stuff, but it's coming back and connecting to you. And he was like, that's what it was. That's what it
But
is.
well, what's funny is I, and this brings everything into connection, well, a lot of it, and we've spoken about this before, is that I didn't understand anything about spirituality until I met you.
Oh,
I
uh,
didn't understand anything about it. Nothing, zero, until I
but
met. I thought spirituality was religion, and I didn't like religion.
yeah, but you guys
So it
are religious,
makes
right? Or what?
what? I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish, yeah. Okay.
So, but that makes sense that he may have seen something but didn't understand it or believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that he's going through this, now he's like, oh, now I get it. What? Jewish star.
All right. The Jewish star, right?
Right.
This is, so what that means, the triangles is as above, so below, as within, so without.